Won't
Boom.
shout. Got some feedback, not to be like so shouty. Welcome to the Audible. Wow, what a week 9 was. For some of us, it was great. For some of us, it wasn't. How are we, folks? What's going on? Lee, you start off first, mate. How are you, mate? What's been going on? What have you been doing this week?
Oh, do you know what? I've been quite chill. I've not been doing much, to be fair. Doing a bit of DIY at home, just going on to some of the American bases and doing some Wednesday training sessions with the boys.
Okay.
Yeah, mate, just chill for me this week.
So, like, so is your team already doing midweek sessions for next season?
Yeah, so with the Americans, obviously they've got a pitch on base, and it's probably the best pitch in the UK. It's 4G. It's got scoreboards. It's everything there. It's absolutely fantastic facility, and they've got 5-man sleds, 1-man sleds. They've got everything there. It's all built for the high school there, and we obviously get access onto there, and they sponsor us on, and we get to train there. So it's for us, it's great. So we've got a load of the Americans down there. We've got a few Brits to come on place as well. So yeah, it's really good.
Interesting. Steve, what's been going on with you, mate?
It's been a bit of a grinding week this week. Don't need to go into too much of it, but it's basically just been I've had multiple interviews and stuff, so just been working hard on sorting some stuff out my end. Other than that, not done a lot.
New job, is it? New job?
Yeah, just looking for some sort of retail work in a minute.
I'm sure you'll get there. Yeah. This is the perfect time of the year for retail work. Christmas is around the corner. I'm already done with my Christmas shopping.
Your Christmas shopping already?
Mate, I'm completed it like full on, all done, mate. All done. I'm dead easy to buy for as well. Denver Broncos stuff or Pokemon cards. That's my jam. Boom, done. Right, I actually have a really funny story. So I've been busy. Obviously, I've been doing my running in the morning, which is great. But I took my cats to the vets. I don't know if you've not seen. I'm sure from one of you laughing there. So one of them got the jabs absolutely fine. The other one was like, nope, not doing it, refusing to do it. He jumped through a light. You know, like you have like them lift up ceiling boards.
The false ceiling lights. Yeah.
Jumped through the light. Four vets, little small girls, were in the roof trying to find him. They had to call a fire crew who came out, and we eventually got him after an hour and a half. Eventually, by the time we got hold of him, he's clawing onto someone's arm. He's just caused absolute murder. And when he got back, he acted like nothing happened, but I was mortified. Okay. So week 9. There were some shocks. There was some, we were expecting it. There was a bit of fight, a bit of this, a bit of that. So let's go into it. So the first game of the week was the Dolphins against the Ravens. 84% of the public backed the Ravens. I don't know what the other 16% of the public were on, but please, by all means, throw a comment in the comments. We want to know what you were on to back the Dolphins. And it was 28.6. I don't even think the Dolphins scored a TD. I think it was 2 field goals. I might be wrong. Someone feel free to.
Yeah, I think they're both field goals. The offense is just absolute garbage.
We've got some massive differences in teams. Obviously, Jackson's back, and they're going to be really interesting because obviously they're chasing a wild card or playoffs, or however you want to go about it. I did manage to catch the highlights of this. I just think that the Dolphins just look absolutely awful. I've nothing else to really say about it. I'm going to go with Steve on this one. Have you got any stats for me?
No, don't really have any stats on this one. It's very much, I think we all knew it was going to happen. It was just not really an exciting game. Yeah, Lamar's back and they're fighting. I think they could have a chance of winning their division. But yeah, the Ravens, they just need to sort something out. And I don't know how they haven't fired their head coach.
Would that be the most impressive comeback in terms of in terms of where they are for the season? Because let's not forget that this team were 5-1 or something along the lines of that.
1-5. Yeah.
Yeah, for them to come back and make the playoffs, that's going to be like brilliant.
I think a team starting 1 and 5 and going to the playoffs has only happened once.
Oh, do you know who that was?
No.
Oh.
I didn't write it down. But
I thought you were going to say that in Devon Broncos to us, mate. But well. Lee, you're up, mate. What did you think of it? Did you catch it?
I think the players are done. Mike McDaniel's done. I think they're just going to tank the rest of the season. I can't see how they're going to be competitive. You know, they traded obviously one of their star tight end defensive ends to the Eagles before the trade deadline, and I just think that's in anticipation to start rebuilding for next year. I think they really need to think about where they're going with their QB. You know, Tua isn't a starting quarterback. He's just not there. Cam Ward is too slow at reading defenses. He takes an age. He does, yeah. I mean, we will come onto the Titans in a bit, but you know, I mean, Tua's got a problem. Tua can't read a field. He can't get the ball out. He's missing targets. You know, so many targets were thrown at Waddle, and they were just behind or
Didn't he get subbed off for a third string QB though? Like,
yeah.
In terms of like confidence, if I'm getting subbed off for a third string goal lineman and my team's behind, I'm not good. I'm not liking that at all. But how do you fix that? Like, because like we were talking in the pre-show about the Jets for the picks for the next few years. You know, they should be pretty sound. Oh, hang on, 1 moment. What have we got here? Runs through handing out burritos and cold beers. Okay. I mean, I'll take the beer, not the burrito. I hate Taco Bell and all that jazz, but let's not go there.
Love a burrito.
Oh, mate, no thanks. But no, for me, you don't know. I mean, look, fair dues to the Ravens, well done. Dolphins, I think it's just riding the rest of the season now. But how many times are they going to do that? You know, I've got a mate of mine who used to play football with Rick Lovian, and he's a diehard Dolphin. Yeah, I just don't get how they fix it, and we'd love some comments to what they do, whether it's handing out burritos and cold beers. Just to confirm, all three of us backed the Ravens on that one. The next one was the 49ers against the Giants, 67% on the public, and all three of us backed. Hang on, 1 moment, we've got another comment. How close is Tua to becoming next Luke
Kuechly? Luke Kuechly.
Sorry, mate.
I'm trying
to read in and zoom in with my terrible vision.
So Luke Kuechly was a fantastic linebacker for the Panthers. He would read what the offense are doing before they even thought about doing it themselves. Yeah. So I'm not too sure how what Nathan thinks there, comparing a really below average quarterback to a elite sort of linebacker.
This dude's just followed me on Insta. Hello, lad. Yeah, I know. Yes, it's now. Hello, mate. Insta friend. Hello. Right, going back to this one. The 49ers slapped up the Giants 34-24. They proved everyone wrong. Mac Jones absolutely smashed it. I don't think Jackson Dart did too bad considering everything that's gone on. I really do think that injury the week prior is still having some effects on them. Can they salvage that season? I don't know. But it was an interesting game. However, it was comfortable, you know, winning by 10 points, that's a score and a bit. Hang on, we've got another comment here. The trauma on head.
About the Tua. I mean, the amount of concussions that Luke Kuechly had was quite staggering. So, I think it's talking about sort of long-term.
Oh, this is
he's
Lucifer. He's Lucifer. He's the devil. Hello, maybe when you on our show, you've got to come on. If you can, anytime you want to come on, mate, you let us know. Drop us a message. We'll happily send you the link. Lee, did you catch any of this one? I know you're a closet fan. You've had the jersey on a few times.
Don't even get me started with them. Do you know what? I was because we backed the Giants. I was obviously secretly trying to back the Giants and hopefully they would have won. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, the McCaffrey was absolutely storming it ahead. Ben saying, Dart played well. However, unfortunately, he plays for New York. Exactly that. But yeah, it's Luke Keighley was a legend. He really was. So yeah, it was just unfortunate. The Giants they're running out of players to pass to. They're running out of people to run the ball. And when you're that strapped on offense, Dart is running out of players to throw to. And yeah, I think hats off to McCaffrey. He's obviously having a comeback season this year. Probably more likely win the Comeback Player of the Year award. So yeah, hats off.
Yeah, he had a good one. Plenty of first downs. But obviously, I mentioned Jones before. He completed 14 of his first pass attempts in the first half. So
Yeah,
for me, that game was won in the first half.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm going to go to you, mate. Hopefully, I've not taken any of your stats and facts, mate.
I wanted to start off by saying I am still really liking Jackson Dart. I think he's a good fit in that organisation when he's going to have a healthy team to play with. The 49ers didn't attempt a single deep shot all game. They didn't need to. It was all Christian McCaffrey, here's a quick 10-yarder. Christian McCaffrey, here's a quick 10-yard. And on McCaffrey, that was his 16th career game with a rushing touchdown and a receiving score, which is now the NFL record.
Mental, that.
Wow.
That's mental. Wow. Well, look, that was a great game. Let's talk about another great game. So 96% in the public, and all three of us backed the Chargers to spank the Titans. Oh, I'm going there. I'll let you. What we've got here? CMC has had 2 good years, but he was horrible in injury for 2. Sounds like me. So yeah, back to it. Chargers, they won 27-20. By no means a convincing win. Herbert shaked off nearly pick 6 to carry the depleted Chargers once again. But I think Titans can take some confidence from that. It was a 1-score game against what we all would say. I mean, I would certainly say is a very, very good Chargers team. Not as good as the Broncos, but we'll get on that later. But no, great win. I'm going to go to Steve for this one, mate.
Yeah, so as we said a few weeks in a row now, the Chargers O-line is injured, and they picked up 2 more injuries in that game.
Mental, mate.
Pretty sure they traded for they've picked up an offensive tackle, so maybe that's going to help. But at this point, they're running out of people to pick up and to use. Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't a convincing win, but Herbert did surpass Matt Ryan to be the 5th most passing yards in the first 6 seasons. See if that goes any higher up that rankings, but he's a good quarterback in a not so good situation.
Yeah, I think you're right. He is a great quarterback, and I think he was unlucky with that pick 6 right at the beginning. I just don't think he saw that middle linebacker coming across to pick it up, and on that, all 20 points of the Titans' score had come from defense or special teams. No points were scored on offense. That was just unbelievable. Joe Alt is gone. The Chargers will miss the playoffs based on that alone. And I think you're absolutely right. Joe Alt has been a game changer in that offensive line. Chargers lost both Pro Bowl tackles, major impacts. Yeah, and I think
my phone hasn't gone off. Going to come out of retirement and play for them. So of course, that's a joke. We all know that's a joke. Before someone goes off on one, it's a joke.
Play for a rival.
Calm down.
Yeah,
night old group chat going mental.
That's it, mate. Everyone's kicking off now. Yeah, it's a tough loss for the Chargers. They like Steve said, they picked up somebody in the transfer deadline window. Hopefully that's it's gonna help them a little bit. He's performing really well at quarterback at the moment. He just needs that little bit extra protection on the edge, and he can become an elite quarterback. And improve it this season. But yeah, Did you watch it, Matteo? What do you think of it?
Do you know what, mate? I've got the NFL pass all sorted now, rather than a really dodgy stream. Let's not go there. Yeah, I've caught up on all the highlights of the game. For me, it's a bit different to obviously it's majorly different to the Brit Bowl, but I'm always going to try and think, how would I be in that situation? Because they're playing so many games, I think for the Titans, obviously Chargers got their injuries, it is what it is, but for Titans, they've got to take something from that and move into the next game. We've got a comment here. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I have detected that hits in the tackle are becoming bigger, or is it just me? Oh. You know what? I'm going to watch that this week. I'm going to have a little look, because I probably played tackle for most of my O-line career. I'll have a little look at that, and you know what? I'll go over some highlights. But from what I see, obviously we know that it's a depleted line, and we know, people are having to step up. But if I'm playing for Chargers and I'm getting an opportunity to step up, I'm going to do everything I can to go, look, you don't need to wait for them to come back. I'm here.
Yeah.
So there's loads of interesting things on that. We're going to move on to the next one. The Lions placed the Vikings. We all backed the Lions, and so did 90% of the public. Goff and his name is off. He certainly was off. The Vikings, for me, bullied the Lions throughout the game. It was a one-score game, 27-24. I watched quite a lot of this, and I have to say, it was a brilliant game. Apart from the Denver Broncos, this was my game of the week. Of course, I'm going to say that I'm that annoying fan, but no, it was a brilliant game for the neutral eye. Lee, did you catch this one? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so again, watching this on Red Zone, and the amount of times that they got hit. So players get bigger, heavier, but ligaments don't get any bigger. No, exactly that, mate.
You're not wrong there, mate. You're not wrong there.
Yeah, not wrong. I've suffered ACL tears and all sorts of stuff. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are. Your ligaments, that you can't exactly build that sort of strength up there.
Worst injuries you've had, boys?
My worst one. So I tore my ACL and MCL. That's what stopped me from playing anymore. I had my left guard fall on me as a center, and it just my whole entire knee bent the wrong way.
Hey, what about your worst injury?
I fractured my ribs 2 seasons in a row, and that was playing.
You can't do nothing with ribs either. Mine's always gonna be my rotator cuff. It goes with me all the time. It's the reason I'm never playing O-line again. Okay, back to it. Sorry, Lee, mate. I just
So I mean, Red Zone on the lines, and it was watching the Vikings just come at Jared Goff and just giving him no time to throw. Jared backing himself into a corner and then just getting absolutely pummeled in the backfield. He had no time.
He got bullied.
No time. He really did. And Penny Sewell, everyone's bigging him up, and and I know he had an injury right at the beginning with his eye. Somebody poked him in the eye, and he ended up going back on.
I've just got proper Ric Flair. Dunk.
It was. But I think the offensive line needs to sort of have a look at that game and realise, what went wrong there. He's bringing up that Nathan comment.
Oh my God, go on.
So I dropped a pre-season meal deal, ruined me totally.
Steve, did you catch this one, mate? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I was watching this on the Channel 5 coverage.
Again? Come on, it's got to be growing on you.
It is. But my problem is I do prefer the later games when it's just the pundits. I mean, I am a massive fan of the British comedy scene, so all the guests I have loved. But they've been a waste of time being on there. I don't know what they're doing.
Hang on, we've got a comment here.
Knee, crushed ankle, and a blown median tendon on the left knee, playing defensive end. That sounds painful. I don't want to do that. So the Vikings have been the highest pressure team on defense all season. And so Goff was being forced to throw much quicker than he normally was. But he's got injuries. There's injuries on the squad anyway, but there's the highest penalties for the game as well. That's that game for the season, because they've been a really clean team up until then. But I mean, this one goes to the Vikings special teams with long returns, kick returns, punt returns, block field goals. They were giving JJ McCarthy really short fields to play with. So I don't think the Lions' defense was that bad, but it was just they weren't really giving themselves enough chance with how many times the Vikings were just getting the ball back from them.
Gonna let you read that one there, mate.
Yeah, Ben Lowe says that Goff has always struggled against Flores. Yeah, they sort of know how to get him, how to just sort of pressure him and make him a bit worried. Another stat I saw, which I quite like, JJ became the third player ever to win 2 road divisional games over the first 3 career starts since 1970. The only other 2 people who have done that have been Dan Marino and Big Mahomes. So he's joined some big players up on that.
Right. Well, let's move on to the next one because this was a hell of a game. FYI, I don't know if I said that, but I'll repeat it again. All 3 of us backed the Lions, and 90% of the public, and we were wrong on that. We've got a comment here. Brian Flores needs to be HC next season. It's criminal he's not HC somewhere. Right. So the next game was the Patriots against the Falcons. Falcons. Why am I making words up? 85% of the public, myself and Lee, backed the Patriots, and I heard so much to say that. And Steve, you backed the Falcons. You're quite thingy on this one. But the Patriots, they won, and it was a close game, 24-23. And they survived a very, very late scare in terms of a comeback. But for Falcons, it was just a little bit too late. This was a really good game, but unless you were a Patriots fan up until the last minute, because I'd have been very, very nervous, even though I support a team that only plays in the 4th quarter. Steve, did you catch this one? What did you think? I mean, we've spoken about the Pats being a playoff team. You know, they've not been in it I'm speaking English, Matteo, the last few years, but now they just look absolutely brilliant. It's like they're all working together, offense, defense. What did you see, mate? Any little stats for me?
Yeah, I mean, I went for the Falcons because they've had a bad time and they just need to get Bijan and Drake London back involved. Ben Lowe says Parker Romo is gone. The Falcons are on their 3rd kicker of the season now. Yeah.
I have not had an invite to be a kicker for them, and I am ready and waiting to kick for a team next year. No, we'll go about that another time.
So one of my favourite things that happened in that game was when the Falcons missed the PAT. I just wanted to remind Falcons fans of 23. They don't like scoring after 23 points, do they?
Oh, mate. Do you know what? They're a very hit or miss team. So there's certain teams I'm always going to back. Like, it pains me to say it. The Eagles, the Broncos. Chiefs? Usually I back the Colts, stuff like that. Chiefs. No, mate. I don't think you're as good as what you think you are. But we'll go into that later. But with the Falcons, you never know what you're going to get. It's literally like Forrest Gump's box of chocolates. Lee, we're going to go on to you, mate. Did you watch this? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I keep saying it. Drake May is legit.
Oh, 100%.
He is a legit quarterback. With Stephon Diggs now, taking a lead role in his sort of wide receiver 1. It is fun to watch the Patriots, and not with Tom Brady at the helm. To watch the Patriots with this young, exciting quarterback, it's great to see. And I mean, as Ben says there, Parker Romo's gone. This is the 3rd kicker they've had this season. It's one of the most important positions to have. And the Advocate Productions is saying, what we really need is a mic pickup from the special teams line. Yeah, when the kicker missed, I bet that'd be.
Do you know what? I think if they had a mic on like my team, my Brit Ball team that I played for last season, they'd have heard some mad shite. You would it'd be, you know, when like you play like an Eminem song in like the late 90s and they bleeped it, like it'd just be constant
Bleep,
bleep.
bleep, 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 bleep.
It would sound like one of them radars as it's getting closer. That's how much. Yeah,
Just Morse code.
I do not speak very nicely when I'm playing a game. I mean, look, for me, it's another win for Pats. You'd think they've got one foot in the playoffs now. Is there anyone in their division group who you'd think could give them a go for it?
Bills are the only ones that are competing. But I think with the amount of wins and the schedule that both of them have got, they're both getting into the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's just
Bills with an easy win as well, but we'll go into that one later, Steve. Okay, next one. Wow, shock of the week, maybe. I don't know. Well, no, there's another one. There's actually two shocks of the week, but we'll go into that a bit. So Lee, with his grace and wisdom, he picked the Steelers to beat the Colts. 87% of the public and myself and Steve, we backed the Colts because they've been brilliant. However, they got shut down. They didn't get shut down, but 27-20, the Steelers won. Daniel Jones had an absolute nightmare. Great game to watch. You know, obviously, I was watching my team, the greatest team ever. But obviously, results pop up. When I seen that, I thought, nah, no way. The Steelers did it. Can the Steelers make the playoffs? Maybe. But on their given day, they can beat anyone. They've shown that with a great win against a really good Colts team. Steve, no, in fact, Lee, let's go to Lee this time. Lee, what did you think of this one, mate?
so. I mean, the reason I picked them is very similar to, you know, the game that they had against you guys. You know, the Colts versus the Broncos. You know, when you put Daniel Jones under a bit of pressure, he starts to waver a little bit.
I agree.
And I think, you know, when you've got, you know, TJ Watt and you've got the other guys on the defensive line just bullying their way through, he was, you know, back to, you know, Daniel Jones from sort of Giants days. You know, he was just throwing balls up in the air and just trying to get rid of the ball, and I think that really showed. You know, and Aaron, hats off to Aaron Rodgers. He's holding his own. He's got control of the ship. You know, is he a Super Bowl winning quarterback right now? No, but is he going to make the playoffs? Yes. You know, unless the Ravens come and, you know, sort of shake him up a little bit. But I still think, again, you know, you've got two dominant teams within that division that I think, you know, could contend for that playoff spot. Who's going to win it? Anybody's game. But Steve, what did you think?
Yeah, so I said last week when we were making the picks that I could see Steelers potentially use defense putting up and stopping the Colts, and that's exactly what they did. They held Taylor to 57 yards, and he's got the most rushing yards on the season, and he's just been all over everyone. But the Steelers just held him and stopped him. And like you said, you make Daniel Jones a little bit pressure, and he'll start throwing hospital balls and hoping for the best. The Steelers picked up 6 takeaways on that game, and that's more than the Colts have had all season as well.
Yes, correct.
And again, it was a dominant game. So Rodgers only attempted 3 passes over 10 yards. So much like the 49ers game, it was very much just, here's a run, here's a little pickup, and that was it. That's all they had to do.
Which is a bit mad considering, I mean, look, he's not as good as he was, but he's an elite QB. So, look, it worked. They got the win. Great. It'd be interesting to see what both teams do in the next
we
game.
covered this. We covered this last week as well. You know how the Colts have had, you know, a really easy schedule.
Yeah.
On the first half of their season, you know, you start looking
up they played us. We weren't easy.
Hey, that was the horse bowl, though. That
it was the horse bowl. But I mean, you look at who they've still got to come this year. You know, who they've still got to play. So they've got to play the Chiefs. They've got to play the Jaguars. They've got to play the Seahawks, the 49ers, and then the Texans. There's some fruity games in there.
Out of them 5 games, they won 2 of them. They beat the Chiefs and they beat the Texans.
Wow.
It's a bold statement right there.
That is recorded, so you can take that to the bank. I poke. Right, on to the next game. Fourth quarter, Denver Broncos against the Texans. 90% of the public seeing the wisdom, seeing that they know their stuff. They back the Broncos, and so did all three of us. But it was by no means easy. Texans didn't score a single touchdown. Fun fact: all 15 of their points were scored by field goals. Broncos won 18-15. It was a highly entertaining game if you weren't a Bronco fan, because it was nerve-wracking all the way to the end. It was an interesting one. CJ Stroud, for anyone who didn't watch the game, he got knocked out. He got knocked out. And we've had it a few times with QB sliding. We talked about the tush push, whatever you want to bloody call it, last week. QB sliding. I feel like, look, if you're going to slide and someone's coming at you, you're going to get hit. Now, the original call was a foul play, and then obviously they review every bit of film, and then that was removed. But he was out with a concussion, and then Daniel Mills led the unit, but it didn't happen. For me, great win for the Broncos. I was surprised how good the Texans' defense really was. For me, it was a battle of the defense. But yet again, Broncos' fourth quarter win. Great win. Not the best of games to watch, if I'm being completely honest. I'm going to go to Steve on this one. Surely you've got loads of lovely facts about how much you love the Broncos. And you're on.
So, as someone who played and coached on the defensive side, I love watching defensive games. I will always prefer a close game that's won on by defense than a massive scoring game, like one we'll speak about shortly. But yes, your defense definitely won that. As you said, it was a battle of the defenses. And to be fair, the only stat I've really got from it is RJ Harvey becomes the first rookie running back to receive a touchdown in 3 consecutive games since 1970.
Oh!
Just a bit of a fun fact for you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all defense, and I love watching defensive games. It's just the way the NFL should be played.
Okay. Lee, you're up, mate.
Yeah, this was a great game. It wasn't high scoring. Full of highs and lows. It was a grueling matchup, and the Broncos are showing that they can compete even in the dying seconds, and the fact that they kicked that field goal right at the end, straight down the middle, to secure that win. It's
Who was it who scored the record field goal?
Cam Little.
Little in the Jags.
We'll get onto that one next.
We'll get onto that one there, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be definitely fun to talk about. Raiders getting beat. Yes, we'll talk about that one for a good while. Go on, mate, as you were.
Yeah, it was great to see. It's great to see the Broncos doing really well this year. I know you were. We're going to talk about the power rankings later.
Oh my God! What the hell?
They're in the top 10. They're in the top 10.
Mate, you've got the Chiefs in the top 5.
Yeah,
right. Right. What's your win conversion this year?
What's my what?
What? How many games have the Chiefs lost this season?
So they've lost 5.
What are you doing putting them in 5th then?
Four. They've lost 4 games. Sorry, my mistake. So it's not the power standings, it's the power rankings, and it's how I feel they're going to finish. They've now got all their weapons back. Yes, they lost to we'll come to that game in a minute, but they are where they are because of what they can do in the last half of the season.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're absolutely killing me. You're killing me. Well, listen, again, Broncos winning again. The only 2 games they've lost have been last-second field goals, which is an interesting one. Because obviously, we were talking about the Colts before. That stupid decision doesn't happen. It's only 1 loss. But really interesting to see how we get on. Got some really not tough games, but more emotional games. The Raiders, they're our bogey team. I know they're really bad. It'll be interesting to see. But we'll chat about that later on. Next, so we've gone from a defense masterclass to a defense shambles next. The Bengals played the Bears, and the Bears won 47-42. And when I mean a shambles, it was a shambles. Joe Flacco doing what he can, but the Bengals defense just let them down. Surely at that point you're screaming at the defense, just do something. For anyone who didn't see the winning touchdown for the Bears, wow. What I'd love to have done to have been in the stadium to experience that, because 50% of the public backed the Bengals and the Bears. All three of us backed the Bengals, and the Bears came and bit us on the ass. Lee, did you watch this? You must have seen the highlights. You must have seen that touchdown because it was.
It was.
I've seen so many angles of it. Yeah.
The amount of points that were scored in the last sort of 3-4 minutes was immense.
Yes.
The Bengals came back from 14 points down to a few points up in the dying seconds, but he left 37 seconds.
It's like ordering the Denver Broncos from Wish, with them fourth quarter comebacks.
It was. I mean, you give Caleb Williams 37 seconds on the clock, in the dying seconds, and all he needs is a field goal to tie the game. And as you said, that the Bengals cornerbacks and defensive backs just let Loveland through to score the game-winning touchdown. I mean, if you saw the tackles that they tried to do, I mean,
someone's in tackling drills. You're putting them two in tackling drills first thing.
100%.
It was a shocker of a game, and I felt so sorry for the offense. When you look at and they're panning to Jamar Chase and Joe Flacco on the sideline, and they're just sitting there going, "What more can we do? What more can we do?"
Steve, you're up, fella.
I'm quite glad that we've managed to speak to this game straight after the Broncos game because I hated this game. There was no defense to be seen.
No.
The bet. First of all, who kicks a kickoff and has no assignments ready in the first kick return of the game?
So bad.
It just ran all the way through. You let the Bengals run all the way through and the kick return touchdown.
Oh, is he froze? He's froze. He's
frozen. He's holding himself still. He's not.
He's doing an Elsa. He's letting it go. Hang on, we've got a comment here. We've got a comment from Ben. The Bengals continue to be the Bengals. More at 11. He's not wrong either. Find out more on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, we'll get Steve back in a moment. I don't think he wants to talk about that game anyway. But we're gonna carry on. We're live, so hey, it's live. It's live television, even though it's not television. Anything can happen. Oh, do you know what? I kind of want to wait. I feel like he's done this on purpose because the next game we're going to talk about is the 8-0 Bengals, who aren't 8-0, against the Panthers. So I backed the Panthers, and I was right. The Panthers 16-13. The Packers just absolutely flopped. Is he back on? He might come on in a bit. His phone might have died. The Panthers, they won. It was a nail-biting game. If you're a Panthers fan, you're just like, blow the whistle, blow the whistle, blow the whistle. What did you think, mate? What was your thoughts?
I mean, again, I picked it as well. So for me, it was like it was. Come on, just. So yeah, it was great. It's great to see, the sort of the underdog beating the Packers, especially when the Eagles have got the Packers coming on next week.
He's back on. Mate, we're just talking about the 8-0 Packers against the Panthers.
Yeah, that's why I left. I knew it was coming up. Oh yeah.
Lee, go on, mate. Carry on, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see, Bryce Young, finally coming out a little bit, throwing some really good passes down the field. That Rico Dowden, he is an absolute menace. Yeah, it was just a great game. It really was a great game to watch.
I agree, but Panthers are on a bit of momentum now. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they are.
No.
But carry that momentum as long as you can. Stranger things have happened. Steve, you're up. Tell us why the Packers aren't 8-0, and tell me why I was right, because I backed the Panthers here for Joe, my friend Welsh Joe. What's going on, mate?
That Kraft injury was huge, and apparently I'm a curse, so we'll leave that there. But what's happening with the Panthers is when Rico Dowdle gets 15 plus touches in a game, they are 4-0. So at what point do they realise that's their game plan? Just keep doing that. Because when he's not had good enough games, when he's not being given the ball, that's when they're losing. And funnily enough, this was also Parsons' first career game ever without a QB pressure. All game, no pressure.
That's insane.
That is insane. And just before I disappeared, I wanted to bully the Bengals a little bit more. I find it really funny, just to go back, the first team to score 38-plus points in back-to-back games and lose them both since 1966.
Hang on. I do apologise, mate. We've got some comments because I had to let you back in. Right. We've had this one, but I'm going to repeat it so you're here. The Bengals continue to be the Bengals, more at 11. We've had that one. And we've had this one. Some nice one. Hi, guys. Love your podcast. Slowly learning the sport. Just need to decide what time I like to follow. I assume you mean team. Michael, I'm going to help you here. There is only one answer, and it is the Denver Broncos. I promise you, mate.
It's just
Brilliant.
not right.
Not only that, if you ever go to the game, the altitude's that high, you only have 2 drinks in your bladder. Steve, carry on, mate.
Yeah, so I was just bullying the Bengals with that little fact there. But yeah. Hey, do you know what? The Packers didn't have a good game. You get some injuries. The Panthers are every now and then pulling off a completely random upset. But then they're just losing games they shouldn't. I can't spell.
Neither can I, mate. You want to see some of the spelling mistakes I've done? Yeah,
it's autocorrect. Autocorrect. I don't like
mate,
it.
Do you know what? My work email, it tells me that the spelling's wrong, and then when I go to right click it and be like, right, what is it? It doesn't tell me. Then I'm like, oh,
It's
right,
no idea
this
what
is
you're trying
awkward.
to say.
How bad is your spelling?
It's like my wife telling me I'm wrong and then not telling me how to fix it. Right, on to the next result. I don't really think we have much to say about this. The Rams played the Saints. For me, the Saints are most probably the worst team in up there with the Jets and the Dolphins. Matthew Stafford had a blinder as the Rams won 34-10. I don't have nothing to say on this game. It was an awful game. I think Stafford had 281 yards. I think 7 players had over 20 yards. 7 receivers. That's incredible. They literally they could have done whatever they wanted. He could have went the loo, had a number 2, wiped his butt, and then come back, and the defense still wouldn't have gone on him. It was awful. It's just, I don't like watching football like that. I just think it's, but no, don't get me wrong. If the Broncos beat the Raiders like that, I don't mind watching that. But I've not got anything to say on it. It was an awful game for in terms of the Saints. The Rams are just beating what's in front of them. But if you're playing, look, they're going to most probably beat my team next time they play them. But if you're playing the Saints, you're banking that's a win.
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve,
No,
go for it. Ole.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I said, the Saints are going to have the number 1 overall draft pick, and I still stand by that. I think the Jets are going to pull out another win very soon. And I think the Titans may do the same thing. And I think that just leaves the Saints with their 1 win of the season, and that is going to be it. They're going to have the number 1 draft pick. They are an absolutely terrible team. And they need to really think about what direction they're going to move into going into this draft.
It's teams like this that make me angry that there's no relegation thing, and I get why they do it. It's all protect. It's kind of like what the Super League with soccer wanted to do. Yes, I said soccer. I'm calling it soccer because it's an American football podcast. But they're all protected, and that kind of like infuriates me. I do think there'll be an expansion. I do think there'll be a London team. We've spoken about that before, but the Saints, they're just awful, and the kit's horrendous. Steve, you're up, mate. What did you think? Did you watch it? Did you wash your eyes out after it?
No, I didn't. It didn't bother with this one. I think, as we all know, there was no way the Saints were going to do anything, and there was no point in forcing myself to be sick for 4 hours looking at their uniform just for that. It's just pointless.
Yeah, it's like South Park when that guy always throws up when he talks to that girl. That's what I feel like every time I watch this team. It's like
there's just like no point. But what I have started doing in some of my fantasy leagues is just going, who's playing the Saints this week?
Oh,
and then just randomly going, I'll take that. I'll take them.
You've just reminded me. I am no longer without a win.
You're not
fantasy football league.
You are not.
Yeah,
I won.
However, the person you played did have 2 players out. Or
don't say none of that. No one needs to know. It's not my fault. I can only beat the team that's put in front of me. I won. Shut up. Yes. Have we? Oh, I'm gonna wait there. Listen to this one. Coach Russ, hello. We'd love you back on, by the way, mate. Saints need the number 1 pick. as the Nike design department for the new season kit. It is an absolutely god awful kit. It is absolutely horrendous. Lee, have you spoke about this one?
Yeah, I've spoken on this one. I don't want to talk about the Saints
I
anymore.
think we just move on because the next one's going to make me laugh. The Raiders against the Jags. This went into overtime. Did this go into overtime? And if we had the copyrights for Celine Dion, my heart will go on. We play it right now, followed by some laughing music. 100% of the public, quite rightly, backed the Jags because the Raiders, they're absolutely awful. But they did give it a good go. The Jags won 30-29. Like I said, the game went into overtime. I think if I remember rightly, because I think it was 2 bottles of red wine deep at this point, the Raiders went for a 2-point conversion and didn't get it, rather than just trying to get the draw or anything else. It's just getting worse and worse and worse, and it's making my day. Lee, I'm going to go to you for this one. Did you enjoy this just as much as I did?
Oh, do you know what? Geno Smith should have stayed in Seattle. That's all I'm going to say. He is not performing in the desert whatsoever. Pete Carroll, he just doesn't have a Scooby right now. He might as well just cash in his pension and just retire.
It was good to see Brock back though.
Oh, Brock Bowers, he scored what 3 touchdowns in this game.
43 odd fantasy points he got.
95 yards.
Yeah, they're all short yardage that he got though. He's all very much throw to him in the end zone and he will score you the touchdown.
Apologies. Yeah, it is. 12 of his 13 targets, 127 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean that's
insane. I hope he's not playing tonight.
When your number one receiver is a tight end, you've probably got problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good for fantasy though if you didn't get rid of him.
Absolutely. I sense some irony in your voice there.
I've got 4 leagues. I could be bad in one of them.
Oh dear.
Do you know what? In 3, I'm in. How many am I in? I'm in 4, and in 3 I'm doing good. Well, 2 I'm doing great. 1 I'm doing good, and then there's R1, which is just an unwritten story. Steve, what did you think of this one, mate? Oh, wait there. We got a question here.
Steve, is Tom Brady co-owner of the Raiders? Yes, he is. I don't know how. I don't know how he managed to get around being a co-owner and also being an NFL pundit because I don't think that's allowed. But I don't know what he's done to create that.
It's like Beckham though with Inter Miami.
Yeah.
And Brady's got that. You ask people in America, football, like soccer or football, if you want to bloody call it, they're gonna say David Beckham or they're gonna say like, the usual names Messi and stuff like that. But David Beckham's still mentioned, so. It's the exact same. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, he's clearly doing a great job. Keep going, Tom Brady. Keep going. I
think he just fancied trying to understand how it feels to lose completely all the time. We're also the same division. I absolutely hate the Raiders. I love watching them lose, and it's just it makes my week every week. However, Ashton Genty's actually having a decent season now. He's forced 46 missed tackles. He's going to be a problem in the league, but maybe just not for the Raiders. Maybe he needs to go somewhere in a few years. Who knows? But my favourite thing about this, and it's such a Raiders thing to happen, this is the first time multiple touchdowns have been scored in an overtime period. And obviously 13 points in overtime is just the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Conflict of interest or conflict in the brain? Both, maybe. I don't know.
Listen, anyone who's played football,
doesn't really matter, does it? But it's just also owning. It's weird.
Anyone who's played football has brain damage. I always say the same thing. If you've played it good, long, hard, and proper, there's a bit of brain damage. Right, let's move on to this next one. And again, let's have the Titanic theme song. Let's have the laugh music after it. Because the Bills, they played the Chiefs. The Chiefs who are 5-4, but for some reason, 5th in the power rankings. We'll go over that shortly. Bills defense made absolute brilliant plays. They bossed the game. Mahomes, he didn't throw too bad actually, but the Chiefs just couldn't pick up the slack. As I read on some news today, 50-50 was the public vote on this one. Myself and Lee. words of wisdom. We were like, we know what's going to happen. The Bills are going to win, and the Bills won 28-21. But the Chiefs, they were fighting till the end. There was that nearly the last minute touchdown that didn't happen. I'm going to go to Lee first. Steve, wipe the tears off your eyes. We'll come to you in a minute. Lee, you're first, mate. What did you think
Yeah,
about the
again,
5-4 Chiefs getting beat, who are ranked 5th in the power rankings?
well, they dropped in the power ranking. They were a lot higher. They did drop. This was a great game. This really was a great game to watch, and to watch, you know, both sides of the ball playing really, really well. You know, Joey Bosa having a outstanding game, getting to Patrick Mahomes, putting him under pressure, sacking him. Absolutely fantastic to watch. And likewise, Mahomes making plays out of nothing. But again, we've got to talk about Josh Allen as another contender for being MVP again for this league. He's having an outstanding season, outstanding game. Nathan Coates.
I'll let you read that, mate.
I have brain damage from arguing with my wife. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Same.
Let's just hope your wife doesn't watch this.
I doubt it.
But yeah, it was absolutely great game to watch, and obviously backing the Bills in the picks. I was rooting for the Bills, and they came out on top. So fantastic game. Steve, come on, get it out. Let's talk about it.
Do you know what? I'm still not worried.
Are you messing?
So if you look at the AFC West, we have the most points for and the least points against. I'm not worried. I'm telling you now, we're going to keep winning games. Brave man puts that online.
Brave man puts that online. That's clearly about the wife thing. You want to try saying it on a video, mate? Go on, mate. I really want to know why you think you're going to be fine.
I think we're fine.
You think your team's going to win it?
I don't know if we're going to be in the playoffs, and we know what playoff Mahomes is like. So I'm just not worried. And also, Josh Allen's 5-1 against us in a regular season, but 0-4 in playoffs. So, like I said last week, I'd rather lose in a regular season than a postseason against them. Yeah, I hated this game.
Oh, we've got a great question.
Week 9 predictions for Super Bowl.
Oh. Steve, you're first. Lee, you're second. I'm going last.
See, I mean,
back your team, or you're a coward.
If it's not going to be the Chiefs, it's Bills or a good defensive team. Maybe Broncos could do it. I don't know in the NFC though at this point. Rams. It could. I don't know.
He said pick a team, not half of the NFL roster.
Well, we're not going for the Eagles. That's not happening again.
Okay, pick one team.
Rams.
Okay, Rams. Lee.
Eagles, Bills.
Oh. Ravens versus. Hang on, I've just opened out.
Ravens,
right, so Nathan, who's asked the question, thinks it's Ravens versus Eagles. I am going to say Eagles versus Broncos in the final. Broncos win. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the call you're going to get off me at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm blathered in hickories?
Mate, that's gonna be hilarious.
Right, you've said your bit, Steve. You want to say any more, or?
Another thing I was going to say, as I mentioned last week, loosely, we are the most successful fourth down team this season. You
weren't very good at third down this game, though, were you?
No, no, but at least now Patrick Mahomes has realised he's got four downs to use all game. The funniest one I saw though, at one point when we were 4-17 and which we converted, but for some reason nobody blocked Nick Bosa. They just let him run at Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick was just like, "Hi," and then threw the ball and off they went. I was just like, "What? How has that worked?"
Interesting. Well, I mean, look, the Chiefs. You can't just go from being that good to that poor. I think you've got a rest week this week, and then you play I think you play us next, the Broncos. So the first advantage there is to you guys straight away. Have a bit of rest. However, still think we're going to spank you. League, you're up next, mate.
I've already spoke about this game.
Oh, so, mate, it's concussion day, innit?
Yeah,
Right. So look, that
one.
that was that one. The next game, a boring game. Commanders against Seahawks. Seahawks spanked them 38-14. We said before about the Colts having an easy schedule. Do you think the Seahawks have been a bit thingy of having a decent schedule? Because the Commanders have been pretty poor, a bit hit and miss. We got a comment here. Pre-injury, Lamar Jackson was 10 TDs to 1 interception. If he continues that, that's unstoppable. You're not wrong there, mate. And the guy's rapid. But yeah, Seahawks won. Commanders, I think they just they wrote the season off. I'm going to go to Steve on this one.
Yeah, it's Seahawks have sort of just become they've not an underdog, but they've sort of come out of nowhere. No one was really speaking about them. Sort of like dark horse team. JSN is still being incredible. But all I want to say on this game is why on earth was Jaden still in the game in the fourth quarter to have that injury? That's one of the dumbest things ever. Just leaving him out there for what? Because he wasn't going to get any development from that game. There's absolutely no way he's turning that game around. Why was he being left out there just to get repeatedly hit? And also, I don't know if anyone's seen, but his injury is so similar to RG3's was. Same stadium, same line, same mark, same snap. Ridiculous. It's a cursed team they are, I'm telling you.
It was a horrendous injury. To have a dislocation to the elbow is absolutely horrendous.
It was horrendous as well.
Yeah. Nathan's talking about the happy for the Bears to get 10 wins all season. I mean, you're probably not wrong there, to be fair. The Bears have got a low threshold to get over, I think, this year. But everyone this season was, expecting the Commanders to come out the same as what they did last year. They came out of nowhere and everyone had this high expectation. They looked like they improved their offense to what it was last year, and it's been a bit of a letdown from the Commanders. Hearing what you're saying about the Seahawks, I'm really interested to see how the Seahawks compare against the Rams. I think that will be a good sort of a good gauge on how good they are and how if they can beat the Rams. Looking at other people's power rankings, throughout the week as well. Some of them have got the Seahawks at number 2, number 3 in their power rankings. I'm not feeling them just that.
You've got them at number 3.
Have I got them at number 3?
You've got them at number 3. You crackpot.
Oh man,
you give me grief about forgetting who's speaking, and you've got them at 3. We're going into it next after this game, yo. Oh, we are stats, bonuses, etc. Poor coaching on the Commanders. I agree. Listen, if I'm a Commanders fan, I'm not happy. I really am not happy. Right.
What do we think, by the way, about the Rashid Shaheed's trade to Seahawks? It's good for him getting out of the Saints, but is he necessary on that squad now?
They wouldn't have done it. They wouldn't have done it if they thought they needed it.
Yeah, I think it's they want to give JSM more targets, more sort of less coverage.
Yeah.
To have 2 wide receivers in a team, when you look at all the good teams out there, they've all got 2 good wide receivers. The Bengals with Chase and Higgins, the Eagles with Smith and AJ Brown. All the good teams have got 2 wide receivers. The Cowboys with Lamb and Pickens, they've all got good ones. But with the Seahawks, they've only got JSN. They haven't got Metcalf or anyone else, there anymore. They've been moved on. So to bring in another wide receiver to stretch the field, to pull over the safeties a little bit more, I think it's a good move by the Seahawks in my eyes.
Yeah.
Right. The next game was the Cowboys against the Cardinals. All 3 of us backed the Cowboys. The Cardinals got beat 27-17. First of all, I want to say it's very sad news about Marshall Nealand. Really, really sad. anyone who's on this, if anyone ever wants to talk, my inbox is always open. I'm sure the other guys' inboxes are all open. Mine support line, which is my favourite charity for mental health, is 0300 102 1234. That's 0300 102 1234. If anyone on this ever wants to talk, I'm always here. I don't think anyone is deemed protected from mental health. Mental health is a battle a lot of people battle constantly. I am definitely one of them. So very, very sad news, and yeah, really, really, really sad. In regards to the game itself, we all back the Cowboys, so the 74% of the public. Cardinals, this was just a game where they turned up. Cowboy season's really going in terms of the on-field stuff. It's really going downhill. Obviously, they had that game against the Broncos where they were really unconvincing. They really needed a big win, and they didn't do it. I'm going to go to Lee for the first comment, mate.
Dallas suck.
That's
the bottom line. They really do.
You've got a great comment there.
Yeah, Cardinals beat the Cowgirls. Exactly that. Jake Brisket. Jacoby Brissett even. Jake Brisket. Jacoby Brissett is having a great comeback, and so good that I've noticed on NFL news today that they've actually put Kyler Murray on IR, which kind of tells you. I think they are happy to carry on with the rest of the season with Jacoby as their QB1.
My wife is really walking up these stairs very loudly, so she might have heard this video podcast. So I apologize. She comes in and beats me up.
Yeah. Nathan, there saying it's okay not to be okay. Please reach out and talk. Yeah, absolutely, guys. I'm open and honest with my mental health. I've had my struggles. We all deal with trauma and stress and all lots of different things in different ways. So yeah, guys, just reach out. There's people out there who just want to listen.
I'm going to use one of my very rare swear words because I've already seen people laugh and react to it. If you react to anything like that or derogatory about it, you're an arsehole. That's that. There's the swear word. You're an arsehole. There's two. But yeah, no, Cowboys maybe giving up on the season. You could understand why. And it's mad because it's such a big franchise. It's such a, look, we know they've not won the Super Bowl for ages. We can make the jokes about that. But what needs to change at that team? I don't know. Steve, what did you think of this one, mate? And if I've already come to you, I don't even apologise.
Yeah, it's the Cowboys just remaining being the Cowboys, where they're just so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And they'll have a good win one week and then they'll lose a game they should win the next week. My comment was going to be, do we think that Jacoby Brissett is going to take Kyler Murray's job? Looks like it. But I will also remind anyone who does know that Kyler Murray always has a bad week when a new Call of Duty game comes out, which does come out this week. It happens this week, so I think
what Call of Duty are they on now? Is it 12?
I don't even know, but he always has a bad week at the same week of the Call of Duty drop. So I think they've just gone, let's just let him not play.
I stopped playing Call of Duty when it turned into Halo. There was a guy who ran across a wall, shot me with a digital ball. I was like, nah, I'm done. See you later. Well,
yeah, but yeah, it's sad news. That is sad news, and it sort of means I can't really take the mick out of the Cowboys this week, but we'll come back at them next week.
Okay, well, that was week 9. We're going on before we go to week 10. We're gonna have a bit of a chat, but lock in them fantasy football leagues, folks. Don't make a mistake of leaving 2 players on a bye week. That happened to me, and I got a win out of it. Yeah, let's not talk about that. But what we're going to do now, folks, I'm going to go through the power rankings of Lee's power rankings, which I think is absolutely rubbish. So we're going to start off at 10. At 10, he's got the Patriots. At 9, he's got the Broncos. What the fudge? At 8, he got the Lions. At 7, the Colts. The 6, the Rams. The 5, the Chiefs. I don't agree with that, mate. Whatever money Steve's giving you or whatever pictures he's sending you, they can't be that good. 4, the Buccaneers. 3 the Seahawks, 2 the Eagles, and 1 the Bills. Lee, your time is on. Tell us, folks, give him as much grief as you want. I'm going to display the comments.
Guys,
even if there's cursing, I'll display it for the next 5 minutes. Lee, go.
Power rankings. Okay, this isn't the power standings, it's the power rankings. Who do I think are going to be in the playoffs this year? And those 10 are going to be most certainly in the playoffs this year. What order? They're still contending with the orders and stuff. Patriots are a legit team, and I think a few more wins and they might creep up the board a little bit more. Broncos, fantastic team. Bo Nix is again, he's legit. Had a little bit of a waiver with Patrick Surtain coming off.
First comment is
coming off his Seahawks. Yes, I'm coming to the Seahawks, Russ. With Patrick Surtain, so I've kept him at about 9. Do I think they're going to make a deep run into the playoffs? Probably not. The Lions, they got beat by the Vikings at home of all places, so they've dropped a little bit in the power rankings. The Colts, again, we've discussed this earlier. I think they've got a heavy second part of their season coming up now, and I think if they can get a couple of wins out of there, then they're going to hit the playoffs, but they've really got to fight hard to get those wins. The Rams, the consistent Rams, they are there. They are fighting, and they should be contending to get in there. I do not think the Bears are going to sneak the wild card. Buccaneers. Baker is legit. Baker's doing fantastic. He's hasn't got any wide receivers, but he's throwing the ball to whoever wants to catch it, and he is making absolutely monster plays. The Seahawks are doing fantastic. They are, and I think this is where you start looking at who we thought were going to be in the power rankings, and the Seahawks were, in my mind, nowhere near coming into the power rankings. However, they're not fumbling. JSN, we spoke about how amazing he's doing. You've got 2 stud running backs who are just running defenses over and scoring touchdowns left, right, and center. They do deserve to be at the number 3 spot. And I think when we see the Seahawks up against the Rams later on in the season, we will see how Matthew Smith. How about those Broncos? Yeah.
Whoever that Matthew Smith is, he's definitely talking sense there.
Definitely talking rubbish. So yeah, the Seahawks are staying number 3 for now. They may drop. We'll see. I think they've got a couple of easy games that they're going to win, but I want to see them up against the Rams. Number 2, the Eagles. I think they've sorted their stuff out now.
Read it.
Matthew Smith, aka Mateo. What drugs are you on to pick these Chiefs that high? Oh, the Chiefs.
You cannot be 5-4 and be 5th in the power rankings. I'm sorry. It's not that the fact that they're above my team. I get where you're coming from in terms of you fitness to meet the playoffs. Well, we've mentioned do you know what? My head's flabbergasted by the fact that you've even picked these. Give me 1 minute. We've mentioned the Ravens. I think as a collective unit, we pretty much can say that the Ravens are going to be in there.
The Ravens will be there, and they are just outside the top 10 in my eyes. They are looking in at the moment. They need a few more wins.
I just can't see how you can put that team in. For me, I mean, look, I will say this. I know, Steve, you by all means you can defend your team because this is your team. Look, and this is a debate as well. We do this and we really get on well and all that. But for me, I do think the Chiefs have had some tough fixtures, but I think they've got some tough fixtures coming up. I really do. And what would you guys say is a wild card place? How many wins have you got? How many wins do you think you've got to get to get it?
You can do it 8 or 9-ish, depending on your division and how the other teams are around.
Yeah.
Okay. And in our division, because obviously Lee, your team's not in our division. How many wins do you think you're going to need, Steve?
Quite a lot. I think the Chargers are slipping off, so I think we can at least guarantee second place.
With how many wins?
10.
10. So you think 10 wins, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm doing this right now as I'm typing, and I'm not typing in English. I'm definitely doing. Oh my god! It's brought up the Kaiser Chiefs FC. 1 minute. Chiefs fixtures. Let's have a little look at the Chiefs fixtures. And I just want to go over this. Not the Kaiser Chiefs, for God's sake.
You search Chiefs fixtures as well. It's just going to bring up Exeter Chiefs, so you have to put Kansas
No.
City.
Right. Okay, so let's look at the Chiefs' next fixtures. Okay. Broncos.
Win.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Colts.
Yeah, don't know. But
Cowboys.
I think they're slipping off, so.
Cowboys win. I think you win. You win the Cowboys. Texans.
Oh yeah, we got that. That's a walk in the park.
Chargers.
If they remain as injured as they are, yes, we've got that because it's a replay of a game from the beginning of the season.
Titans.
Oh yeah, of course.
Broncos again.
I think we'll split the series.
The last game of the season, you'll win the Raiders. Me personally, I don't think you'll beat us twice. I think the Colts will be a 50-50 game. I think your guaranteed wins are the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Titans, and depending if the QB is back for the Texans. And this is why I love power rankings, because you can debate about it all day. Like Eagles, for example, Eagles have lost a few games, but they look brilliant. You know, two games, 2-2. So the Broncos.
So with everyone.
But it is going to be a very, very interesting end to the season. It's because there's like you look at the Chiefs. We've just been talking about the Chiefs. 1, 2, 3. Hang on, 1, 2. I think 4 or 5 games against people in their group. So it's the same with the Broncos. It's going to be a very, very interesting season. But on that note, should we talk week 10?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right. So week 10. Same amount of fixtures. Starting off with what I think will be an interesting game, depending on what team turn up. We've got the Denver Broncos up tonight against the Raiders. I'm dead easy on this one. I'm always going to back the team. However, this is our bogey team. And I can see by Lee's face he's going to come at me with something a bit mental. I'm backing the Broncos. Steve, who are you backing here, mate?
Again, it's 2 divisional teams. If I could say you'll both lose, that'll make me happy, but I can't. So it's going to be the Broncos because I hate the Raiders more.
Okay, Lee.
Yeah, it's the Broncos for me. I don't think the Raiders are doing anything this year. They've got a couple of star players, but up against a really, really decent Broncos team, I don't think they're going to be. They're not going to be competing with you guys tonight. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but
I don't think so. And I think they'll gain a bit of confidence that they nearly got that win last week.
Brock's going to have another great game.
They've also just got rid of Jacoby Myers as well.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of people without really bringing anyone in. So I think they are just deciding that they want the picks for the draft rather than
it's mental. This is why I'd love this to be a relegation thing, because that would stop. It would stop instantaneously. Okay. Next up, we've got the Colts against the Falcons. Look, Colts lost last week. It was a tough loss for them to take. I'm going to be backing the Colts here. I'm going to go to Lee first.
Yeah, I'm going Colts. As much as probably Ben Lowe's is going to despise me saying that, because he's going to be off to Germany tomorrow to watch this game in Germany. Coach Russ is saying Broncos played poorly against the poor Jets. Do they play down to the Raiders?
I'm going to comment on this one. The first week of the season, I backed the Chiefs to get beat because they were playing in unfamiliar territory. Now, obviously, most of the teams have been to London. I think that first game is in Brazil.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a mad game. Are you adjusted to the altitude quick enough? Stuff like that. I always think games like London, Germany, wherever they are, anything can happen. So, is it a poor excuse? Maybe. But I don't think you lot would disagree with me when you're playing abroad.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been to London. We've all been in the stadiums. There is no home team. There is no home team. There's too many supporters out there. So this is anybody's game. But I think the Colts are going to edge this one. But yeah, Steve, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going Colts as well. The Colts have played in Germany before and they got a win then, and that was only 2 years ago, so they're not that unfamiliar. And again, Falcons aren't really doing much. I also want to apologise to Colts fans because I run an experiment last week on the power rankings. Because we've realised whatever QB I put on there loses, and I said in a group chat, I'm going to put Daniel Jones on and see if they lose,
Who have
and
you
then
put on?
lost.
You better
He's
not
put
put Bo
Baker
Nix
on there.
on.
So we
Oh,
put
it's fine,
Baker on
it's
there
fine.
this week,
Fine.
so if it happens
Fine.
again. But do you know what? The week after, if you have a good week, I reckon Broncos can have a bit of
Fine, mate.
bonus.
I just won't post it, so it's absolutely fine. Hello, Merlin. Come here. Come here. Right, next up we have the Jets against the Browns. I'm going to back the Jets.
Yep, absolutely. Jets on this one. Look at that.
This
Is this the one that went flying through the roof?
No, this is the
No,
good one.
This is the good one.
Yeah, you're the good one, aren't you, Mel? You just took the injection and just yeah, you were just dead good. if she finds out he's up here, she's gonna go mental. But I mean, just stay. Don't worry, be fine. Okay. So yeah, I've gone for the Jets in this one. I don't think it. Browns defense will make or break this game. Obviously, it's going to be an interesting one to see. But I'm going to back the Jets in this one. Have the changes they put in place worked?
Yeah, I think getting rid of some of those defensive players weren't necessarily I mean, it was. I think it was fantastic trading by the Jets. To be fair,
we said this.
We said this before the show. I think this is great. You know, by 2027, they are going to be in a position of power with the amount of picks that they have. But I think this is also a strategic. I don't know. There's been a lot of murmurs about locker room, sort of players being bigger than what they should be in the locker room, and I don't know if this is Aaron Glenn's sort of way of cleansing that locker room and telling his players, you know, you're not bigger than the game. You are, you know, you can win. And I think, you know, they're coming off their bye. I think they can probably come out and put a shocker onto the Browns on this one. Steve, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree completely. They did trade really well. A lot of the players they've traded were really expensive as well, so it's financially, so they've got not only the picks, but they've got the capital next year and year after.
Oh, sorry, the cat keeps knocking the camera. Go, stop, no. You're getting as bad as your brother.
I think it's also really funny as well that how much Jerry Jones gave up for Quinnen Williams. Good player, definitely not what they needed to do if they'd have just kept Parsons, which was a cheaper deal originally anyway. I'm going Browns on this one, but it was a flip of a coin, and I think this game is going to be flexed to Comedy Central.
Just to confirm, I went Jets. Steve picked Browns. Lee, you picked
the Jets.
Okay. Right, we're going to do what we do every now and again when we all think the fixture is going to be the same results. Next one, we've got the Panthers against the Saints. Let's try this. 3, 2, 1. Panthers. Okay. Right. I also want to have bets on if any of you are going to vomit if you watch the game to see what kit they wear. Right, I'll amend that in a bit. Next up, we've got the Bucks against the Patriots. I think this is going to be a belt of a game. Second game of the week. I'm going to back the Bucks here. I think they might just have a little bit too much for the Pats. Some of the games the Pats have had have been pretty healthy for them. So I'm going to back the Bucks. Steve, Merlin, you knock that one more time. You're going to go with Fred. Go. Steve, what are you thinking here, mate?
Yeah, I'm backing the Bucks as well. Just similar things. I think they're slightly better on a squad. Kind of sick of watching the Patriots win again. But I will also say that I put Baker Mayfield on the power rankings, so maybe I've cursed him and the Pats do win here.
Forgot about that.
Do you know what, that's playing on my mind now. But I'm with you guys. I back the Bucks. I think they've got home field advantage here. So I don't know. You know, it's always one of those things when it comes to this time of year. You know, the rest of the northern parts of America are getting cold, but Tampa Bay is still going to be nice, hot and sweaty. You know, how are the Patriots going to acclimatise to that heat? We'll see.
Apologies, my camera's like swaying left and right. It keeps like knocking himself into it. You're not getting any more treats. Right. Next up, we've got what I think will be the game of the week. We've got the Vikings against the Ravens. I'm going to keep this nice and short and sweet because I need to pee. Ravens.
Yep, I'm going Ravens on this one.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens, and I've also agreed game of the week.
Okay. After that, we've got a god awful game, so we'll do this 1, 2, 3. We've got the Dolphins against the Bills. 1, 2, 3. The Bills.
The Bills.
Yes, there we go. There we go. None of us are that stupid.
Do we clip that for next week and then somehow find a way of clipping that back in?
I know, yeah. Could you imagine? Merlin, go on. You've done enough now. Go. You've been on TV and everything. Go. Next up, we've got the Bears against the Giants. Coach Russ is going to hate me because I'm going for the Bears.
Yep. Yeah, but I think the Bears.
I think the Giants are still hurting from some of them key injuries they've had. And look, good little franchise and all that jazz, but Bears will be carrying momentum, scoring that many points.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that one. I think the Bears have got this one in the bag.
Steve?
Yeah. Looks like Coach Russ hates all of us this week because I'm also going for the Bears.
Oh, that comment's going to be. He's typing a paragraph right now, like Stan in the Eminem. He's like, "You didn't write back." Anyway, next up we've got the Texans against the Jags. I think this is going to be a really good game in terms of defense because the Texans have a really good defense. How the Jags are going to cope with that, but I think with potentially not, I think the Texans QB might be out again this week, concussion protocol.
Yep.
So I'm going to be going for the Jags on that one. I do expect you two are going to be going the same, unless you want to tell me something different.
Nope, Jags.
Yeah, Jags. It's going to be interesting if they get Jacoby Myers straight in there or not. He's a good slot receiver, sort of what this Lawrence sort of needs in there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Seahawks against the Cardinals. Do you know what? I'm going to back the Cardinals.
Oh.
Just because I'm peed off with Lee's power rankings. And you know what? I backed the Panthers to win last week and they upset the odds. Mateo knows. Clip that one, why don't you, Steve? Lee, who are you backing here, the Seahawks or the Cardinals?
I'm back in the number 3 power ranking Seahawks in this one.
You need to go and seek Jesus. Merlin, stop. Oh my God, see the camera there. Just go downstairs. Okay, Steve?
I'm back in the Hawks, and mostly because Kyler Murray is going to be sat at home playing Call of Duty. So,
Mate. I can't say nothing. I play Fortnite. It is what it is. However, Kingdom Come 2, I'm about 300 hours into that. I've done every expansion game. I've done all my side quests. If anyone hasn't played it, 10 out of 10 game. Okay, next one, I think we can do it on a 1, 2, 3 again, but I'll just say who it is. The Commanders against the Lions. Let's try this. 1, 2, 3.
The Lions.
Yes, easy. After that, we've got should be a great game. The 49ers against the Rams. For me, I'm going for the Rams on this one. I do think it'll be a close game, and I'm going to go to Steve next.
Yeah, I've done the same. I think it's going to be the Rams. The Niners can't keep pulling off wins with such an injured squad. So, Rams.
Okay. Lee?
Yeah, Rams for me.
Oh, we've got a comment here. Who's it from? Oh, God. Giants secondary a tooth at the moment. Can't tackle Bears. Will run all over the G-men. That will carry the O and score most of their points. Do you know what, mate? I still think you're going to get beat. Sorry, Lee, who did you pick? The Rams or the 49ers?
Rams.
Okay, I thought you crashed there. Next up, we've got the Chargers at home to the Steelers. I'm going for the Steelers. I'm going to go to Lee first.
Following suit on that one. Steelers, I think after their incredible win last week, I think they're going to continue that and upset the Chargers a little bit more, I think.
Okay, Steve?
Well, disappointingly, I've gone Chargers. I really couldn't pick heads or tails on this one, so I let my girlfriend pick again. The only thing that sort of put me off is Rams is playing safety the whole game for Steelers, which sort of isn't his position, so it's just, is that going to work for them or not? We don't know.
Okay. Next one, and I'm going to go last on this one, because I know how much you love one team, I don't know how much Lee loves the other team. Our Monday night game is the Packers against the Eagles, the 8-0 Packers, who aren't 8-0 at all. Steve, are you picking the Packers? Or are you picking the Eagles?
Right, so
no chat GBT speech. Give it to us hard.
So in week one, I did say that I thought Eagles were going to be the Packers' first loss. However, just for the fun of it at this point, I'm going to keep picking the Packers all season, so I'm going the Packers.
I can't wait to the Super Bowl when it's the Broncos versus the Eagles. I'm going to ask you who you're picking, and you're going to be like, I'm picking the Packers. We got another comment here. Looks like me jersey will do the rounds. We'll see, mate. Mate, I wear no jersey, mate. I wear my... Yeah, no. Not happening, mate. Not happening. Lee, are you going for the Packers or are you going for the Eagles?
I think I'm going to go for my Philadelphia Eagles to put a decent score up against these
Decent
Packers.
score. How decent do you think it'll be?
I think it's going to be a 2-score game for sure. I think it's. I don't think the Packers are going to come at us, but I think we're going to extend our lead. You know, we've got a full complement of offense, so we're well rested. You know, we've got Goddard, we've got.
Are you quite
Smith,
confident? Are you quite
Sorry?
confident?
Yeah, I'm confident. Yeah, real confident. Depends what we're betting on.
£20 bet. I think the Packers are going to spank you. Whoever wins, the loser has to donate £20 to Mind Support.
Done.
Perfect. You heard it there and then. As you can tell, shock horror. I'm back in the Packers. I think it. Do you know what? I think it's a great game for a Monday Night Football. I think there's some games that are on Monday night and I'm not bothered. This one, I think, will be a great game. But I do fancy us getting done in by them. And the worst comes to worst, I'll donate £20 to a great cause. Again, folks, just to remind you, Mind Charity, 0300 102 1234. They're always there to help. So, week 9's done. Week 10's predictions are in. Again, locking your fantasy football leagues. I think it's going to be an absolutely brilliant one. I could have my game won by tonight, my fantasy football league won by tonight if the Broncos do it properly.
So you'll either win or lose by tonight.
Yeah.
You're not even wrong, mate. Boys, any plans for the week?
No, just watching a great sort of slate of football this weekend. That's all I'm going to be doing.
Steve?
Same here. I haven't got much planned. I've done all my busy beginning of the week. So yeah, that's it.
Nice chilled one for me. Maybe a bit of Jamaican food on Saturday. That's me. No, Sunday. Do you know what? I'm going to do a Sunday and I'm going to watch football as I do it. Well, folks, that's been us. We are this show is called The Audible. Thank you very much. We've rectified the Spotify, Amazon and Apple podcast problem. So you will be able to hear this tomorrow, maybe as soon as today on there. I have been Matteo.
And I have been Lee.
And I've been Steve.
Thank you very much. We know we've gone over a little bit of time, but we enjoy this thoroughly. We will see you all next week. You take care, guys. And any minute now, it's going to end the stream. And it's not. This is brilliant. Let me turn my phone upside down. Oh, this bloody thing. Oh, yeah.